alpha males. We've all heard this term before, but what actually is an alpha male? Well, alpha males are assertive and dominant. They often take charge in social settings, have high social status, and are charismatic leaders. There's a term that gets thrown around in a lot of dating spaces. That's high value men. A lot of what we equate with a high value man is equated to an alpha male. So usually they're the center of attention, like a CEO who can sort of effortlessly command a room. So in my, hold on, let's actually give you some examples of alpha males in movies include King Leonidas, Captain America, and Thomas Shelby. These characters are strong leaders, exhibit courage, and inspire those around them, often fighting for principles or causes bigger than themselves. One key part about an alpha male is that no alpha male will ever tell you that they're an alpha male. It's like a UFC fighter telling you how good of a fighter he is, right? You don't have to tell anyone, you just show them. And now in our current society, there is an attack on masculinity. And there's phrases like toxic masculinity and telling men that we need to back down and there needs to be weak men. And like, that's overall bad for the fabric of our society. If our society is going to flourish at its highest level, we have to elevate women and we have to elevate men. And masculine and feminine are in each of us, but as men, we mostly predominantly have masculine energy, and females mostly predominantly have feminine energy. And if we step into those energies to the best of our ability, then we have a chance to become the best version of ourselves in greatest service to the world. So then the masculine is elevating the feminine, and the feminine is elevating the masculine. Then we work together to create a cohesive, flourishing, beautiful society. And so alpha males are what some people potentially could view as sort of toxic masculinity. But everything has the chance to become toxic. Everything has the chance to become corrupt. Everything has the chance to deteriorate through power, through greed. And so the best versions of alpha males are the ones that are expressing the healthiest version of their masculinity. There's a term that is coined warrior poet. And I love that as an expression of our healthy masculinity. Because yes, masculine energy is about a warrior. It's about a protector. It's about a provider. It's about doing the things necessary to keep yourself and the ones you love safe, whether that's providing, whether that's protection, whatever the case may be, that's the warrior inside of us. Now, these terms come from when we are fighting lots of wars. There are wars going on and men are fighting those battles. So they're expressing that warrior nature. It still happens, obviously, and is still very, very needed in today's society, as we see with what's going on, the turmoil, the fighting, all of that stuff. And so the warrior is still inside of us. It's an innate part of us. I think that's why martial arts are important. Sports are important to be able to express that competitive nature that lives inside of us. But then there also is another side of that coin, the poet. A poet can express love, can express beauty, can see love, can see beauty. And that's how we really have to express the most healthiest version of our masculinity, is to be the warrior poet. In certain situations, we can be that alpha male who steps up to the plate, who takes care of his family, who takes care of things when they need to get done, who has a set of discipline and willpower and sexual discipline. And sometimes we just got to throw some dirt on it and strap our boots up. But also being able to toe that line and know when it's time to be the poet, when to be vulnerable, when to ask for help, when to seek support or guidance, when to share love and be about love, whether it's our kids, our wife, our partners, our family. And that's really how we want to express this most healthiest version of masculinity. And so I don't like the phrase toxic masculinity because it says that all forms of masculine are toxic. So anyone who has masculine energy is therefore toxic. And that's just a bad message to young boys, to young men who are trying to get into this world and flourish and become their own man, become their own warrior poet, become their own alpha male or whatever type of male they choose to become. And so we have to use language in a way that encourages those young men, young boys to step into their best version, to step into their healthy masculine that's disciplined, that cares for others, that cares for themselves. that is going out into the world and trying to become the best version of themselves. And there has to be encouraging language and encouraging rhetoric and encouraging people that allow our young boys and our young men to go out to society to become those warrior poets, or to become those alpha males, or to express that most healthiest version of our masculinity. And that's extremely important for the whole fabric of our society. And so there's number one. I went on a little tangent there, but completely and absolutely necessary conversation that we need to keep having, whether on this podcast or any other space that you find this sort of information.